Ryan Burrow has been following what's going on in Chicago over this past weekend. ABC News correspondent Ryan Burrow. Ryan, it seems like it wasn't as violent as past years?
Yeah, I wouldn't start celebrating over 60 people shot, 4 people dead, but over a long 3-day weekend, it is a small victory for the Chicago Police Department. I take you back to the late last week. They knew this was going to be a problem weekend. It usually is. The holidays, whether it be Memorial Day, 4th of July, even Labor Day, because it's warm outside, because, a lot of people are outside getting, into fights or whatever they're doing. So on Thursday, they started doing these gang raids. They arrested 27 people Thursday, another 88 people on Friday, and they think that, having the bad guys, as they call them, behind bars this weekend really helped kind of, at least squash some of the shootings. But, essentially what the city's dealing with is about 1,400 people they've identified as problems, people with gun violence, whether it be shooters or victims or people involved in gang activity. But they can't just go in and start arresting these people. And the problem is when they do catch them in the act, at least according to Chicago police and the prosecutors here, they can't keep them behind bars. They get them sentenced to 8 years, 20 years. They spend 6 months, and then they're back out on the street. So, one of the battles is in the court and trying to get, longer-term sentences and keep some of these violent offenders behind bars for longer than they're staying behind bars.
All right, Ryan, what are the numbers this weekend?
So 64 shot, 4 dead, 1 person stabbed to death. You have to flash back. You have to understand that last 4th of July fell on a weekend, so it wasn't quite as long as this period. So it is up from last year, but they're comparing it a little more to 2014 when 88 people were shot.
So what's shocking to me is 64 people were shot and only 4 died. It seems like that number's
getting better.
but I mean, 60 people who were shot and going to live. That just seems like a very high number to me. If you get shot, you're much more likely you're going to die, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, they part of the push here in Chicago, especially on the south side, is to get more trauma centers so that these people who are shot, most of these shootings are happening on the south and west side, are able to get treatment quickly. That's one issue. Obviously, medicine's gotten better, but the other thing is too, and a lot of people kind of say this under their breath, but the shooters aren't very good. Let's face it. It's a lot of very young people who have guns in their hands for the first, second, third time, and they're shooting them, and thankfully, not more fatalities, but. The gun problem is still an issue. They're pulling, about 100 guns off the streets every weekend, illegal weapons off the streets here, and they just can't stop the flow, whether it be from cartels, drugs, out of state. They can't seem to stop the flow of the guns.
Ryan Burrow, ABC News correspondent. Ryan, thanks for checking in.
All right, take care.
You got it. It's 8:08 here, Big 550.